guys, welcome back.
Welcome to the third episode of It's for the Chicas.
Chicas.
Hey guys, welcome back.
How are you?
How are you? I'm just kidding.
Tired.
I'm really tired, you guys. Like this video has been very, very hard for us to do this week. But we didn't want to let you guys down. We're really committed to it, and it's been tough. But
Yeah, it was a long weekend for you.
It was a really long weekend.
Your baby girl's birthday.
Yeah, it was my baby girl's birthday. She turned 4.
It was so cute.
Everything
them
was
tacos
so cute.
your mom and dad made.
Dude, I know. Giselle, my parents for the first time.
Yeah,
And my mom loves Giselle, so you already know
Duh.
that got like that friendship approval because moms always know. My mom would have been like, no. She's up to something. Moms always know, you guys.
They do.
But no, my parents met Giselle. My mom really liked Giselle. My dad was a little out of the weather for the party.
asleep.
Yeah, he came and slept inside. We all got sick. Like Giselle was sick the week before. I got sick this past week. Of course, I would get sick the week of my lens party, dude.
Yeah,
Of course, like that would happen.
you were going through it.
I was going through it.
I know.
It was horrible.
But at least you got better, like, for the day.
Yeah, so the day of, I feel like the night before the Astros played. So how about them Astros, guys?
Hey, Houston.
But they're actually playing at the moment. But we are here.
We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we're here dedicated to y'all.
We
So
don't want to talk about it.
I'm pretty sure we'll hear Henry
Right now
screaming
it's game 3.
at the
and it's not
game
going
3,
good.
episode 3. But how was your weekend?
It was good. I mean, I came to my Lynn's birthday party, and then I did like a little, not really hot. We don't really do Halloween in my family, so we went to like little fall festivals and stuff. And then Sunday was my father-in-law's birthday, so we did that. Oh, I went to the air show this weekend. That was pretty cool. I never
Oh,
been.
that's cool.
You don't hear it? Like, you live kind of close to the airport.
Was it a hobby?
Oh no, it was Ellington. You're right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear planes all the way around.
I know.
all the time, but.
Dude, they
Yeah.
were loud. It was
My
pretty
cousin,
cool, though.
my cousin's from the valley, and she was here, and she was like, "You're never scared that an airplane's gonna come and crash into your house?" And I was like, "No, dude, I've been here for like years." I was like, and to this day, you know,
I feel like they would crash more like outside of.
they
not
have
like
crashed.
right
There
here.
has been a plane that
here?
crashed behind the Target right there on Blackhawk, that neighborhood behind them.
Wait, on
And-
Pearline Parkway?
Yes, behind Target, that neighborhood that's there.
A whole plane.
A whole plane, not like a passenger plane though. Like it was like the smaller ones
Like
that
a
carry
jet?
like 1 or 2 people.
Like a helicopter?
No, like the small planes.
Like personal ones.
Yeah. One of them crashed into the backyard of one of the neighbors back there. Yeah. I know.
Oh my
dude,
God,
so
that's scary.
So we usually drink coffee, guys, but Giselle
We're
wanted to be
having
an alcoholic today.
We're being bad girls.
So on a
Cheers.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right?
I'm off tomorrow. It is Tuesday. I'm being bad influence.
Yeah. I'm supposed to get up in the morning and
I
do
know.
some Stairmasters, but
We'll see.
we'll
sis.
see.
I'll cheer you on from my bed.
I know. But anyways, you guys, welcome back. Episode 3. Today's episode, we will be discussing
We're talking about self-love.
self-love, and then Giselle also has some questions. We wanted to make it a little fun
Yes.
and do like
that'll be towards the end, though.
yeah, and do like
A little
what do you
game.
call it, like have you ever, or
Oh, have you ever?
have you ever, is that
Never
what it's
have I
called?
ever. Well, it's never have I ever, but we're going to make it have you ever.
Okay,
Right?
sounds good.
Or is never have I ever?
I don't know, but let's go ahead and get started. So as far as self-love, what do you feel like self-love is to you?
I feel like I'm still on the journey of not finding self-love, finding myself and like learning self-love about myself. Because I don't know.
Do you feel like you learn new things that you like?
Yeah,
to do?
that's what I was gonna say. Like I feel like I learn a lot. Like I'm still learning, like especially being married now. I feel like
It's hard.
Yes.
I know.
I know. It's
I know.
really hard. Like I feel like there's things that me and Rob argue about or have argued or discussed. Not really argue, but discuss. And I feel like just coming not just from my past relationships and those toxic men, but like just my childhood and stuff like that. Like growing up with a single mom, I feel like I've always tried to be like super independent. So I don't know
how to like rely on somebody, or
Yeah.
how to not rely, but like let somebody else like fully trust.
Like completely give all to my husband to control everything. Like that's hard for me. But like that for me plays into self-love because it goes back to like I have to be able to like love myself to be able to love and respect my husband the way, you know, it should be.
Yeah.
And I, you know, obviously we're not perfect, but we're not like bad either. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I'm still learning a lot about myself.
What do you feel like are things that you do for like self-love? It's okay, me too.
Them White Claws. I do feel like a big one for me before was a gym, like before getting married. For now, I think honestly, self-love for me a lot has been like spending time by myself. And I've always been hard to like spend time by myself because I've always relied on being with people, friends, my husband. But now I'm learning to like enjoy me time, like just me. Like I like just going to the coffee shop or going for a walk. That to me is like self-love, like learning who I am.
I don't like being alone.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But I do kind of believe now, like learning, like loving, not learning, but being okay, like happy, content being alone also, like it plays a big role, like in your self-love.
Yeah. Like the only times I like being alone, which is like, this is like my biggest like self-love thing is like having a clean house. Like this is so like freaking señora life, right? But I love like having a clean house. And I mean like dishes are put away.
Yeah.
The floor's been swept, mopped. The candles are on. Like it smells like somebody just cleaned in the house. Like that and having no laundry. And like Henry and Mylene will go pick up some Chick-fil-A or go to Target or something together. Or every now and then she'll leave to sound check with him. And he's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, last time I was like, I'm about to lay down with some Cheetos, hot Cheetos, and watch Princess Diaries on our bed. Like the house is clean. I was like, and I just want to watch Princess Diaries without being somebody's mom and without being somebody's wife. And like, I love that. Like, he was like, that's what you want to do? And I was like, yes, dude. Like, that's exactly what I want to do. Like, that is like what I look forward to. Yeah. Like, that's why like on Fridays, like, I'm like, I love cleaning the house because because he usually plays, and I'm like, I can be up till like 11 cleaning, and then I'm like, oh, like my lamp knocks out by the time I'm done, and I'm just watching a movie or watching a show, and like I love doing that, dude.
Yeah, no, I definitely that alone time is like self-love for me.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it so much. I still think the gym is like a big self-love for me because I do feel like when I don't go, I'm in a bad mood.
Dude, me too.
Or I feel like agüitada, me siento fea.
Yeah. I feel like that's why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling. Like everything is on my nerves. I don't want to do nothing. And it's because I haven't been able to make time to wake up early and go to the gym. And I hate working out in the afternoons. Like, last time I worked out in the afternoons with Giselle, guys.
She was having like a panic attack.
She had to bring me some crackers because I was going to die.
Calm down. No, I'm just kidding. She was really having a panic attack. Like about to throw up.
My iron dropped. I was seeing stars, dude. Yeah, like, it was bad. Like, if I'm going to work out in the afternoon, like, I really have to make sure that I really ate, like, every ounce of protein, like, has to be in my body. I had to make sure that, like, I really, like, drank all my water. I ate really healthy all day, took my vitamins, because if not, like, I'm going to feel like I'm going to pass out. But it's weird because in the mornings I work out on an empty stomach, and, like, I don't feel weak like that.
Yeah, because it's like the first time, like you just woke up, like you had
right.
You know,
aren't your blood sugars like normal when you wake up? Yeah, and I think that's what it is with me. Cause si se me baja el azúcar.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm supposed to carry candy with me, but you know, I'm dieting, so no sugar.
You can have like sugar-free candy.
Yeah, but I need the sugar.
Oh, you can't have like fake sugar.
No, like it doesn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
I have to have
organic
sugar.
Or nothing like that. It has to be sugar.
Yeah, like especially like if I drink caffeine in the mornings, like I feel really, really weak after that, and like I have to eat something with like real sugar in it. Like yesterday, I felt really bad after eating lunch because I ate like healthy and I didn't eat breakfast, and like I had like coffee, and I was like I felt like my hands were shaking. Like I felt really weak, but thankfully we had cupcakes for my Lent's party. And so I like just freaking went down on a cupcake. And as soon as I ate it and like I drank like a whole bottle of water, I felt like immediately better.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if I do have caffeine and I don't eat all like for a good amount of
Dude,
hours,
you can
I feel
have
like
3
shit.
shots and feel okay.
I know.
Like 3 shots of caffeine.
No, but that's bad because I like that's way too much caffeine. I need to stop. I do.
I can't feel like that. I can't take 3 shots. Hell no. I'll
I
pass out.
I feel like so going back to the self-love, I think another one for me as I've been growing up is like I said on the last episode, spending time with my family.
Oh yeah.
I've always been like, my mom's always been really big on family, but like I feel like as I've gotten older, like with my cousins and mi primas, like their kids, and like seeing my kid play with their kids, like I enjoy that so much.
I know, right? It feels so
It's
good.
yes, it's so beautiful to me. Like it makes my heart warm. It's just like some love, like it's a love that just it makes
I know
me
it's because you
content.
got to grow up with like your cousins and stuff, and like being able to have kids like that are their age and stuff, and being all together. Like I feel like it does feel really good. We try to like always hang out, but it's so freaking hard, dude. Like
Because they live far.
no, not just that. Like we all have different schedules. Like our husbands work different schedules. Like some of us like are stay-at-home moms. Others like we work, and then like my sister, like she has like her kids. Like my nephew's like in football and like coding, and then my niece is like in dance. Both of my nieces are in dance, and so
But I feel
they're
like you
like
do get
really
with your
booked.
family a lot, like your immediate family.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like even that, it's like really hard to schedule.
Really?
Yeah, but self love for me is like the gym, like working out. I feel like it's a lot of self love. Being alone, like in the house, like I don't feel like I'll ever be able to go eat by myself. The only times I eat by myself are like at work. I love eating in my car, like being away from everybody. Like I love it. Like I love putting on some Gilmore Girls on my phone and like just heating up my lunch and like eating it in the car. And like I love that. Like I love being by myself. But working out, I feel like does have a lot to do with self love, and I feel like you say, like lately, like we haven't been able to like work out or anything, and I feel it, dude. Like I feel it in my attitude. I feel it like in everything, and I want to start making time for it again. Like I had told my mom today, I was like, I'm gonna wake up early. Like I'm gonna bring Mylan over. That way, like I can get some cardio in. Like I really want to focus on cardio, but I don't know if I'm gonna be like able to not do weights. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can do like 1 or 2 sets, just
You
like
think so?
something to get a good pump.
Like just a little bit.
Yeah, like if you want to do legs, like just do like the main 2, like deadlifts and squats. Or if you want to do upper body, do like bicep curls and
Just something
bench
small.
presses, or like shoulders.
Like 4 sets of it, or like I
yeah,
should probably
like 4
do that.
sets, 2 times, bam.
Yeah.
Just like a little pump. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, yeah, I feel like those have been good. I mean, I think we're big on the gym and like being alone. Yesterday I had a babysitter, and Rob like stayed at his mom's to help his dad out with some stuff.
Yeah.
And I I don't know if you watched that show From Scratch on Netflix.
Oh my gosh, yes, I just watched it, dude.
All of it.
All of it. Like I watched it all on Sunday. I stayed up till like 1 a.m. trying
I
to
stayed up
finish
till 2
it.
in the morning
How
last
sad
night.
is it?
Dude, I was crying so. and then Rob calls me before I'm done with it, right? He calls me like 11, and he's like, "Are you going? Like, I'm going to sleep. Like, good night." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm watching a show." And he was like, "What show?" And I was like, "A sad show. I want to cry." And he's like, "Well, you want to cry on purpose?" I said, "Yeah." That feels good to me. And then like that's me time.
Dude, that show is so sad.
If you haven't watched it,
Watch
turn this
it.
off,
Like,
because I'm about to go up.
It is like the most. If you think you cried on The Notebook, it's a nothing.
No,
compared
literally,
to this
when
show.
I was crying, I was like, dude, I feel the pain in my chest.
the
Like,
show-
what the?
The show was over, and I felt heartbroken still over it. Like to this day, like even today, I was like, why am I still sad over this character?
Did you see my post on Instagram? That story
No,
where that
I
guy's
haven't been on
crying.
my phone, man.
I'm gonna show you right now because
Okay.
it's funny. But this is like
I
this is how bad I was crying, and I'm married, and I was like, bro, if I don't find love like that. I told Rob, and Rob's like, what you mean? I'm like, I'm just kidding.
No, I literally told Henry, I was like, please don't ever get cancer, babe. Like this
It was
show,
so
you
sad.
guys, it's so beautiful
Look.
and so sad.
Hold on.
Dude, you should post this. She's gonna post this little clip right here. Like, you should post it like on the little bottom corner. But if you haven't seen it from scratch, it is like such a beautiful show. And
Dude,
I was
so good.
crying.
And
dude.
I was trying
like,
to tell my mom about it today, and she was like, "Dude, I've seen it." Oh, she was like, "I see it all over Facebook," and I was like, "But it's like," she's like, "You wanted to watch something sad." I was like, "It's sad, but it's beautiful."
But
like,
you don't. I didn't know it was sad.
I knew it was sad.
I didn't know it was sad when I
knew
started
it was
watching
sad.
it. I just saw it was like in my top 10, and I was like, that girl from Avatar's in it. I was like, that's her, right? And I was like, let's watch it because she's such a good. Yeah, but I love Avatar.
Remember.
Yeah. And so I started watching it, and I was like, well, interesting. Like, first episode, second episode, third episode, and then like they get married, and he gets cancer, and I was like, bawling my eyes out. Like, if somebody in real life had passed away.
Girl,
and Henry was like,
I
was like, it was already like 11 something, and I was like watching it, and I was like, like I just kept wiping my tears away. Like, I woke up with my eyes swollen the next day.
I had a headache.
How much I cried. And he was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Yes, dude. Like, this show is so sad." I was like it's so beautiful, but it is so freaking sad. And then like when he, if you haven't watched it, like
turn this off.
Yeah, turn it off. Spoiler alert. But when he finally does pass away, dude, like it is like the saddest thing ever. So like sad. His daughter, like,
dude, you know what got me? Now, like you say, daughter, when they're in Sicily. And she's in bed, and she was like, "Everybody knows him by your husband, but nobody remembers him as my daddy." And I was like,
"Oh, I know."
Ugly face.
Crying. And then they meet Totino.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. I was like, he's still
real.
Here. Yeah. And I was like, he's still here. He's still showing y'all like that. He's crying. Here, but it is like
I would just put myself in her position. I was like, oh, my God, I could never.
And then when she says, like, you waited for me, and then he passes away, I was like, oh, my God, you guys.
Looking at her. I was like.
He was like waiting for her to wake up so she wouldn't have to wake up to him dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
It's the most beautiful show I have ever seen. Like,
dude, but better than The Notebook, better from the stars,
yes, you guys,
above,
like,
above
honestly,
the stars,
like,
whatever it's called.
It
better
like
than any movie.
Such a beautiful freaking show, you guys. Hey, guys, we had to take a little break. Yes. We had to go refill. But we are back, and Giselle was going to start us off with.
Oh, we were finishing up talking about that movie the season. We
were talking about from scratch, but like how losing a loved one has affected us or anything like that. So it's sad. A crier episode, you guys. So go ahead and bring your tissues out. We wanted to discuss it because holidays are coming up, and we know that it can be hard, especially if you like recently lost a loved one, or if you lost a loved one like years ago. Like, it still
feels the same.
The same. I feel like you never learn. Like, you learn to live with the hurt, but the hurt never goes away. Like, that pain you feel, like,
oh yeah,
you can remember it today from years ago, and you'll still like remember what it felt like that same day. You kind of just learn to live with it.
Like certain things that remind you, it's just like
yeah.
Well, my grandma passed. My grandma was my everything. First of all, my mom she had me at the age of 15, so my grandma stepped in a lot. And she so she was like my mom.
Yeah.
And she took me in. She raised me basically as a baby because my mom was so young, and she had me until I was 6th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then she had a heart attack, so she couldn't take care of me, but we were always like super, super close even after that. But she passed in 2020. And we couldn't see her body because of COVID.
Yeah.
So we ended up like cremating her. Mm-hmm. And we were able to see her before like they cremate her. We were able to see her body, but like behind a glass.
Okay.
Dude, it was like a novella.
Did she pass from COVID?
That's what they say, but we don't believe it.
Oh, okay.
But we don't know because she was in a nursing home, and we couldn't see her. Mm-hmm. But that's how she passed. But like literally when she passed, like I don't know why I'm laughing, but it was like a novella because now that I think about it, like I laugh. It was me and my famous, and like literally, so they opened the curtain. All I remember is my grandma there, and like I just started crying like so hard. And then my cousin, this is the part that makes me laugh because I was like, oh my God, now that I think about it, it's like a novela. My cousin runs to the trash can, throws up, and
Oh
then
my
and then my
God.
other cousin falls on her knee.
You're so mean, Giselle.
Well, because now that it plays out in my head, I'm like, oh, it's like fucking novela. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, it's like that's how much the pain was
oh
at that
yeah,
moment.
no,
You know?
I know, but
Yeah.
I can laugh about it now because then like I just started crying. Like I just couldn't move. Like I was just at all like crying. Um, I don't know. Like when they called me, I like just ran outside and started crying.
Yeah.
Like I just literally ran outside, and my mother-in-law was calling me. My husband was calling. My mom's like everybody was calling me because they
Yeah.
knew I was my grandma's favorite.
Yeah. And
Like,
grandparents do have favorites, guys.
oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
My cousins and everybody, they'll always admit like I was her baby.
Mm-hmm.
And my phone was blowing up and I just didn't want to talk to anybody. Like it was so hard for me because like we couldn't see her.
Yeah.
Like we weren't allowed to see her because of COVID. And the last time we saw her, like you could tell she was just ready to go. Like she was in pain. She had arthritis. Ya estaba toda como like jorobada. Le dolía los huesos. Like, so I know, like, I do know, like, she's in a better place, but it hurts no matter what.
How old was your grandma?
My grandma was 84.
Oh,
86.
okay.
Yeah, she was pretty older.
Yeah. My grandma also passed away in 2020 because of COVID.
Really?
Yeah, she passed away in August. And I remember, dude, it's so weird because we had the first family death that I can remember was when I was very young. One of my cousins, she was 17 years old. She passed away in a car accident, and she was like the baby grandchild of my great grandma. So she was my mom's baby cousin. And everybody loved her. Like she was the closest person. And I was probably like 9 years old when this happened. And then for us, it was like really crazy because it was like my great grandma was sick that year of COVID. And she was already old. Like my great grandma, like, yeah, it was her time. And she passed away. And then in Mexico, you know how they do the funerals like at the person's house? Like they do like the velorio, like inside the person's house.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they did that for my great grandma, which was my grandma's mom. And somebody there had COVID, dude. And everybody got COVID. Yeah, like my great grandma's, two of her sisters, one of her brothers, or one of my grandma's brothers, and my grandma, and a lot of other people got COVID. But after that, like it was like week after week, like they just kept dying, dude. Like everybody like would go to the hospital, and like yeah, and like one of my great grandma's sister first passed away like a week after my grandma had passed away, and then a week after that like another one passed away, and they were all in the hospital like from COVID. And then my grandma passed away, and it was like you say, like you couldn't see them back then, dude. Like
Yeah.
like we knew that she was sick, so she got sick. And before my tia, one of my tias came back from like the velorio of my great grandma, they took my grandma to the doctor, and they like the doctor gave her medicine. It was her and my other tia, like they were both sick, and my other tia did take the medicine, and my tia Lorena, which is like my mom's sister, she was the one that left the last one to leave from Mexico. And she like told my mom, she was like, I don't know, like no me vine like a gusto, like ama no se había tomado like the medicines or anything. And like she just had them on the table, like she hadn't taken them. And I feel like it's because like my great grandma's death really, really affected her.
Like a broken heart.
Yeah. And so she just didn't want to like take the medicine or anything anymore. And she had previously had like pneumonia like 2 years like in a row. And so she was really sick. And then she got COVID really bad. She went to the hospital in Mexico, and they were like trying to help her. And then they ended up moving her from the hospital in Mexico to a hospital in the valley. And my cousin called my mom, and she was like, no, we have to get her out of there. Like everybody's dying like in that hospital. Like los están matando gratis, like this and that.
Yeah,
and
I do believe they
yeah,
did do
dude.
that.
And
a lot of places.
Yeah, and my grandma was at the hospital for like a couple like weeks, dude. Like it wasn't like from one day to the next. Like she was there weeks. But whenever they moved her from like one ambulance to the other, like she told one of my tias, like she was like, "Aquí déjame, al cabo yo me quiero ir con ama." Like yo me voy a ir con ama, which is like my great grandma that had just passed away. And so I feel like that was already in her. Like she was already so sad about
accepting it.
Yeah. But my grandma was young, dude. She was only 70. Like she was still really young. And I feel like a lot of people like we all think that we're gonna have like years, you know. Like I thought I was gonna have my grandma for like as long as my great grandma lived. Oh man, I don't.
How old was your great grandma?
She was like
in her 90s.
Yeah, like
dang.
She was like up there, you know. Like she was like in her mid 80s, like almost 90s, but she was
That's
in
awesome.
90. Yeah, she lived a lot of years. So I don't know, like we just always thought that we were gonna have like
a grandma for a long time.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
But and then it just happened. Like we couldn't like they took her phone, dude, and like we would talk to her sometimes, and like when we would talk to her, like she was good.
Why'd they take her phone?
I don't know, dude. Like it was like a lot going on. Like
that's sketchy.
They found her purse, but she was missing like her gold that was in there. Like it was really weird, dude. Like. And my tia wanted to go take her out from the hospital, and like she went, and like the nurse was like laughing at her, like,
Shut up.
Yes, dude. Like it was like, I don't know.
A mess.
Like, yeah, it was a mess. Like it was back then, and I didn't go to my grandma's funeral. I didn't get the chance to go to it. But my cousin, I think it was like 2 of my girl cousins and 2 of my guy cousins, and my mom's sister. They were going crazy, like looking for my grandma at the hospital, but like they wouldn't let people in, they wouldn't let people out. Like once she went in, like it was when COVID was like really, really bad, dude. And like they wouldn't tell her what room she was in, like nothing. And out of the miracle of like God, like they went around, dude, like knocking on every single window that they could, and like because they had patients everywhere, and they found my grandma's window, and she like. They knocked on it and they opened it, and like they say que like les gritaba, like she would like make noises, but she couldn't talk anymore. And they were like, "We're gonna get you out, like don't worry, like we're gonna get you out." And I think she thought that like that we had left her or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. And like they went to go get food, and when they came back, like they all watched her pass away through the window. Like they watched her take her last breath and everything. Yeah. And it was like I feel like it really messed with like my cousins that did see it, and like my tia, like I feel like there's just this sadness in their eyes, like even now, like, and it's been like that was like in 2020.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah,
like from like like how we were saying we watched that show.
Yeah,
I would have lost my mind.
I know.
Like you have to be really tough.
Yeah, and like my mom, like it was super hard, dude. Like I answered the phone because like my tia was calling, and my mom was like, "Here, you answer." Like I don't, like she didn't want to take no more bad news, you know. And so I answered, and my tia was just like screaming on the phone, and she was like, se murió, mama," and I was just like I had to like, you know, like, and I couldn't cry, like I couldn't cry because like I had to be strong for my mom, and me aguanté, and I like told my mom like I had to tell my mom that she passed away, and my mom just like fell to the floor. It was like really sad, dude. Like it was, I remember everything. And then like I hadn't told my sister, my older sister, because she was still driving like to get to my mom's, and I was just like I had called her, and I was like, dude, you need to come, like it's bad, like yeah, vente. And so she was coming and stuff, and I had to call like my other tias and like tell them like that she had passed and stuff like that. And it was like,
it was really hard.
Yeah. It was like one of the hardest things. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
That I've ever had to do. And like in that moment, I feel like that's why I cry now, because in that moment, like I didn't cry. Like I like me aguanté, and I was like, I have to be strong for like my mom, you know, like she's already falling apart.
Dude, no, but I get it. But,
yeah, it's like
they hard. Told, like for me, my situation, like they told me last. They didn't want to tell me. Like because I was like my grandma's baby. Like they did not want to tell me. Like I was the last person to find out.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't want to tell me because they knew like it was gonna be really hard for me. I think that's that's really, really hard. Like, I wouldn't cry. Like, that's hard.
I know.
I feel like, like I was saying, like, I feel like for my grandma, like, it was time. Like, me dolía a mí más el corazón verla hurting.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like my grandma wanted to leave, which is like the only consuelo, like that keeps us going. You know, it's like she didn't want to be here no more.
Yeah.
But I feel like whenever she did see my cousins and stuff, like she was like, oh, wait, hold on. I don't want to leave. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's when she was like, okay, hold on. Like, I do still want to be here. But by then it was really late. It was like, and it was like horrible, guys. Like, if any of y'all lost a loved one during COVID, like, it's losing a loved one is already hard enough as it is. But like losing a loved one during COVID was like,
I think through
like,
any
I feel like
sickness.
the most inhumane thing to go through because we didn't get that. Like, we didn't get the velorio. We didn't get the viewing. Like, we didn't get, which I'm thankful that I didn't get to see her pass away because I don't know, like, how that would have affected me. And, like, I feel like my cousins that did see it, like, they're really, really strong. And, like, God knew who to put there because I don't think I could have handled it. Like, I don't even go up, like, at funerals. I don't like going up to see the body. Like, I don't want to see it. I go and I pay my respects, but I will not go up to the coffin because in me, like, I just feel like that's like when I remember them, like, that's the first image that's going to come to my mind. And I don't want to remember them that way. You know what I mean? Like, when I think about them, like, I feel like them lying in the coffin.
Happy memories.
Yeah. But like them lying in the coffin, like, is an image you never get rid of. And like, I'm like, I don't want to have that.
I had to see my grandma though.
No, for sure. Yeah. Like, I feel like if it would have been my grandma, I would have seen her.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think, like, I feel like because I didn't get to see her, like, because of COVID, because they didn't allow us to see her.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't see her through the window, nothing, like, nothing. So I feel like the last time I had seen her was, like, because she died in April. So, like, she died, like, right when COVID started. Because it started with, like, February, March.
We went on lockdown in March.
Right, March. And then she got it in April.
And my grandma passed away. Man, I want to say she passed away August 1st. And then it was, like, really hard to get, like, funeral arrangements and stuff like that. Oh, yeah.
They told us no.
Yeah.
They said, because, like, I don't know what it was like in August, but in April, they told us no. So, like, the only thing we could do, like, this is what they told us, like, for the funeral, they were expecting us to still pay, like, I want to say it was actually, like, 15,000, 16,000.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, funerals right now, like, 15K is, like, a regular funeral.
Yeah, because I want to say for us cremating her was, like, 7.
And it's still a lot of money.
That's still a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were telling us that only 10 people could go, so they were going to do las tias and their firstborns. But then we were like, that's not fair. Like, to have all the family come up with thousands of dollars and not everybody gets to pay their respects and say goodbye. So, yeah, we decided to cremate her because we all, as a family, had to, you know, put the money together. And, you know, my aunts didn't want to see my grandma.
Yeah. See,
her daughters didn't go.
My mom didn't go to my grandma's.
It wasn't weird to me, but it was weird to me because I was like, you don't want to see. But like how you said, like, you don't want to see that. Like the casket, that's what my mom was saying. Like, she was like, I don't want to see her like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but we haven't seen her in months because of COVID. Like, I have to see her. Like, everything she's done for me, like.
You were like, I have to do this for her.
Yeah. Like, and then, like, I was crying more because, like, my grandma had, like, a really hard life, like, hard. And, like, it broke my heart that she died in a home.
Yeah.
Because, like, my great-grandparents never met them because they died before I was even born. But they sold my grandma basically when she was 13, like, to start cleaning houses and taking care of kids. And then, like, her story, too, is, like, she didn't want to marry my grandpa.
Oh.
Her dad basically, like, sold her for cattle and land.
That was, like, back in the day thing, right? Yeah.
And so my grandma didn't even get to marry somebody she loved. And my grandpa was, like, very, like, horrible to her. He cheated on her. He left her. Two of her kids died because she had no money. When she had her babies, like, they were born and, like, she couldn't feed them and they died.
Oh, my God.
And one of them died of, like, I think the flu or something. She had no money to take it to the doctor, nothing. Like, the little boy died.
Oh, my God.
When he was, like, 2. So, like, my grandma just, like, lived like such a hard life. But I think I also, well, I cried because like, well, obviously it hurt because she was like my mother too. But I think I cried too because like it brought me, it brought me pain to know that she lived such a hard life. But then like,
Also, her death was hard.
yeah, and she
Or
was
like
all
her
alone.
death was alone.
She was all alone. Like that's what broke my heart.
I
That
know.
because of COVID, like she was all alone. Like, and she would beg it, like she would beg us to come back home, but it was like nobody could take care of her the way she needed to be taken care of. Like she couldn't walk no more. She couldn't use the restroom. She was in diapers. Like everybody, nobody could take care of her. Like all my aunts, basically all my aunts, were, well, no, not all of them, but all of my aunts work basically full time. My mom's a single mom.
I know
it was just hard.
It was
Nobody
hard.
could take care of her no more. We all did, like for years. Like one tia had her for years, and the other tia, and then we had her, and then we had her last before she finally went into a home, and we would go see her. She was actually in Deer Park.
Oh my gosh! So she was here, like when it
Yeah.
all happened.
She was in Deer Park. Oh no. So we moved her before, like it all happened. Like she ended up over there in Humble, where my family's at. But yeah, I think I feel like yours was very traumatic, and I wanted to cry. I was like, dude, that's traumatic. To see all that, and like that's very traumatic.
Yeah,
I
it
do
was
feel
insane.
like for me, it just really, obviously it broke my heart because she was like my world, my everything. But also, like I said, I also was at peace because I knew like she was in so much pain.
Yeah,
Like if you would see her hands, estaban all crooked.
purple and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like they were like literally zigzag.
Oh,
Like her arthritis was so bad. Her toes were curled up. Like they were completely curled up.
pobrecita, dude.
Yeah, she was in pain. Her body was hurting. But also too, like, I know. Like I thank my grandma. Like I want to cry with this because if it wasn't for my grandma, like I would not know who God is. Like
Oh,
my grandma is the one who set that foundation in me, like the prayer, everything, like God. So if it wasn't for my grandma, like I would not know anything. I would not have God in my life. Like I would watch her like pray every night. Like she would like that to me was love. Like her love showing me, like when she would pray for me, and like I don't know.
like everything.
Yeah, like she taught me everything, like the word
Yeah.
of God, like because I know God because of her. I know how to pray because of her. Like I know things that like, you know, like my certain beliefs are because of my grandma. Like
Yeah,
but that's what I'm more thankful for, that because I know in my life I know who God is because of her.
yeah,
And I have beautiful memories of her.
yeah.
Like I used to go, like she would take me to the pulga.
I know.
Like, she would. Oh yeah, we went
Remember
to that.
you were
crazy
trying to
ass
reminisce?
pulga. Yeah, I was trying to reminisce. We went to the pulga, and there was a freaking shooting. And Rob was like, "Why did you bring me to Mexico?" I was like, "This is not Mexico." He's like, "Well, it feels like Mexico.
Yeah.
There's shooting. There's good food. There's beer." Yeah.
But I feel like for me, my grandma hurt me differently because you were very blessed in like having like that really strong relationship with like your grandma, you know, like not everybody is blessed enough to be like the favorite or whatever. It's true.
No, I know.
But I wasn't my grandma's favorite, and I would argue with her a lot because she was like really enojona. Like she was like very, very enojona, like, you know, hablando
like
de
all
su
old
vida
people
and
are.
like not de su muerte. But my grandma was very enojona. But going back to how I had mentioned, like you think you're gonna have like all these years, and you don't get them. And I feel like that's what her death taught me. Was like, oh my gosh, I knew we were gonna cry on this episode.
And we're drinking.
Yeah. But I just knew that she was gonna like I just always expected to have her many years, and I was like,
She was young.
yeah, she was young, and I was just like, I can't wait for her to come see us and for me to not be working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was always working when she was here. And I never really got to like enjoy like the grandma part of her because my grandma also lived like a really hard life. Ella trabajó mucho. She was also beat by like my grandpa and stuff. And my grandpa was not a good husband and he wasn't a good dad, but he was a really good grandpa, you know? Yeah, towards the end, like, is when he got good and stuff, but he also passed away from cancer. Yeah. And isn't that weird? Like, when you were talking about everything, like, I was like, that's so weird. Like, we have a lot of in
Yeah.
common. But after she passed, like, I started realizing, like seeing her in like little things, like when me and Henry first, man, I cannot stop crying.
Okay.
When me and Henry first moved in, together, um, to this house, actually, she was like, "Oh, que ocupa like Anaí for her house," and she gave us like a blanket, like those big Mexican blankets, and I have that blanket, and makes me so sad and happy at the same time. And I'm like, oh my God, like she was always thinking about all of us. Like, you know, like even if it's that, like just the blanket. And I had told my mom that I needed like a molcajete or something. And I have like the little white small one that I have in my kitchen that's like right next to the stove. Like she gave me that too. And I don't know, I feel like it took her death for me to realize like to be thankful for like all those little things that she would do for us. And I wish it didn't have to have, like, I wish I didn't appreciate her as much as like after she passed away to like when I had her here.
Like you appreciated, like you wish you appreciated her more when she was.
I feel like I would have spent more time with her more when she was here, because I always thought in my mind like I'm gonna have more time with her. Like that was always like, and that was very childish of me to believe, because like we never know when our last day on earth here is. And I feel like her death like really really made me realize that. And I'm thankful like that, because of her death, like I see things differently now. Like I'm like, okay, like we really never know like when our last day is gonna be, or like when's the last time we're gonna see these people. So like sometimes like my sisters, like even my sisters, like they piss me off, you know, like they're my sisters, and sometimes like I just have to like step away and like just think about it for a minute and be like, dude, like you never know, like you really never know when it's like the last time that you're gonna have with somebody. But I feel like that's what her death taught me, was like to really like to never think that I'm gonna have more time with somebody, because you really never know. And I just remember like, and it's crazy because I wasn't my grandma's favorite. Like we all know that, like Alondra, my sister Alondra, and my cousin Kike, like they were like my grandma's favorites.
Which one's Kike? Have I met?
He was here at my Lynn's party.
He was?
Yeah. Okay. But they were like my grandparents' favorite, like both my grandparents, my grandpa and my grandma. And I feel like it wasn't until after her death that I was like, we could have all been like closer to her, like if we would have tried, you know, like my grandma kind of just wanted, like, it's because my grandma was very like, if you were with her, like you were with her, like you better not be answering your phone, like you better not be like doing anything else like other than like taking her places, like. And my sister would do that for her, like she would do that a lot for her. And it's crazy because like I never felt like I had like the memories that Alondra has like with her, but my last memory with her, and it's crazy because it was like my last memory with her, like that's like the last memory I have of her, and it's like my favorite memory, like it's like God knew. I don't know, like it was, I don't want to cry anymore, but I can't stop crying. And it was something super simple. We were just at my mom's house and we were all making tamales. And my mom, you know, being a mom, like telling me like, Anaya, así no se hacen los tamales. And like I was sitting next to my grandma and she like hit my arm and she was like, don't listen to her. Like tú hazlos. Like, los estás haciendo bien or whatever. And I was like, well, grandma said that I was doing them bien. And then my mom's like, ay, como a nosotros nunca nos decía eso. Like, a nosotros, like, siempre esto. I was like, well, abuelita said that I was doing them fine. Like, so that's okay. Like, I'm doing them fine. And my grandma was just laughing with me. And, like, that's it. Like, that's...
I can't even remember. Like...
That's, like, the last memory I have of her. And, like, it's my favorite memory.
Yeah.
It's so sad, dude. Like...
But that's... It shouldn't be sad. That should make you happy.
Yeah, like, it makes me happy, but it just makes me think, like... It's like a sad
happy.
Yeah, like, it just makes me think, like, I wish I had more of them.
I get you.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I get what you're saying. I feel like... I do think some of my... like, when we so, my family is more Christian. Running? No. And we didn't have, like... We don't do velas and stuff, but we did do, like, a celebration of life, they call them. And we did that. So like we all like just got together at my aunt's house and we said, like, we all said what we had to say or whatever. And one of my cousins did say, like, I wish I would have given my grandma more time, like one of my cousins, because she would get like, mi grandma también era bien fregona. Like, I'd be like, grandma, like, stop. Why are you being so negative?
Yeah, like my
and she would be like, cállate, Giselle. And I'd be like, you love me. And she would just laugh.
Yeah.
But like, she would be mean. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my grandma was yes. She would be mean to my cousins or like my mom, and I'd be like, grandma, that's no seas fea.
Yeah, my grandma too, with like my tias and my other cousins and stuff like that. But it's just, that's just the way she was, like, you know, like
Mexican grandma.
Yeah.
But that's, and like when we had our celebration of life, we did talk about it. Like, my grandma had such a hard life too. Like, we kind of understand why she was a little fregona a little bit when she was older, and because she like really went through a lot. My grandpa put her through a lot too. I never met him. He died the year before I was born. He died of lung cancer. He died when my mom was only 15.
My grandpa passed away from, I think it was kidney, because he would drink a lot.
My grandpa smoked a lot.
So he got like got cancer in his kidney, man. And this is gonna revolver like last episode and this episode. Speaking of like losing a grandparent or like losing a loved one, when my grandpa passed away, I was 16 years old and I was with my high school sweetheart. And this just to show you what a piece of shit he was, dude. I remember, dude, like I was at the funeral home and I saw my grandpa. And I didn't think it was going to affect me, like, because I wasn't that close to my grandparents. Like, it's sad, you know, but I wasn't, because I didn't have them here with me. Mm-hmm. Like, neither one of my grandparents, like, on either side. I never got to spend, like, as much time with them as, like, other cousins or, like, other family members have. So I didn't, like, sí me dolió, you know, because, like, it was my grandpa. But it wasn't until I saw him, like, in the casket that, like, it really, really hit me. Well, yeah. And I remember, like, running outside and, like, crying. And so I called, well, it's my boyfriend, you know, like, it's my boyfriend. I'm 16 years old. And so I called him, dude, to, like, vent to him. And he was like, well, I can't talk right now. I'm busy. And he fucking hung up on me.
Shut up.
I swear, dude.
No.
And then I get back from my grandpa's funeral and he broke up with me.
What?
Yes, he was that much of a dick, dude.
Oh my.
Yeah, like
that's why he wasn't the one.
That's why he was not the one, dude. That's why he was not the one.
These men.
I know. So that was like a little, like, just so y'all got a taste of what I went through.
Oh my god. I
know. That's why whenever people are like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky with Henry," and I'm like, "Dude, if you knew
like what I went through,
what I went through, and what it took for me to get here," and even then, I'm like, "And y'all think that Henry's like a little like perfect boy?" Giselle knows. How did he get mad at my last time?
I was scared. Oh, yes, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad.
My len was like running around, and Henry just goes, "Marlene," and Giselle like literally.
No, he didn't say Marlene. Like I was like. Oh shit! I didn't know he gets.
And she was like, he gets mad. And I was like, Henry? And she was like, yeah. I was like, dude, yes. Everybody thinks that. She was like, I just always see him so calm. And I'm like, no, dude. Like Henry has an attitude, dude. Like, I mean, none of us are perfect, right? But Henry can be like very enojon.
I never pictured him to like ever get angry.
And do you feel like, going back to the topic, do you feel like during the holidays you feel it more, or do you feel like whenever
no,
it's close to the date that it happened that you feel it more?
I don't feel it more during the holidays or anything. I just feel it randomly.
Yeah, like it comes in waves.
It just comes randomly. Like when I hear certain songs, or like,
oh my gosh,
yeah, when I hear certain songs, or like when I see something, like, because my family lives in Humble and I lived with my grandma in Humble. And there's like a trailer park where I used to live with her. And when we pass it, like, I just think of her. And sometimes I don't even cry. Sometimes I just smile. And sometimes I cry. Like, sometimes when we, like, the family talks about her, like, I'll tear up. But, like, I feel like for me, it's a lot of happy tears. Like, I'm happy. Like, I know she's with God. And I know that she was in pain. So, like, it helps me more that she's up there, like, not suffering, because she's... Like, I think that's what gets me the most. Like, she suffered a lot, like, her whole life.
Yeah.
So, like, it just broke my heart that she ended up, like, in a home, like, alone. And she didn't want to be alone. Like, she always wanted to be with us. But I'm just thankful to God that I got, like, I got those memories with her.
Yeah.
Like, And it was me and my little brother. Like nobody. Well, the first grandchild ever born was my Nini, my cousin Cynthia. She had a relationship with her until like I was born, and then like, but I feel like
move over.
Yeah, move over. It's my turn. But my cousins, I feel like the reason my grandma had to step in a lot was because my mom was only 15.
Yeah.
And then like my grandma, like, you know, and then with my little brother Kevin, this is when I was like already in college, and my brother was like, I think middle school or high school, but he would help my grandma a lot, like get her in the restroom, take her a shower, like anything, food, anything. Like my brother was always helping her, so she would always ask like, where's Onta Giselle and Kevin?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I'm more at peace. Like, I feel like yours was very traumatic, and that breaks my heart. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was more like, it broke my heart because I was like, I was dreading this day. I knew it would come soon, but I didn't know how soon. But I was more at peace because like too, she was forgetting who we are. Like we told her
like Alzheimer's.
Yeah. When I showed her who Robbie was, she'd be like, oh, okay.
But she wouldn't really know.
No. And then we would go again, like 2 days later, who's this kid?
And she wouldn't know.
Mm-mm. And it was like, that would make me cry, like, really bad, because it was like, like, I don't want my grandma to forget who I am. Like, why? She should forget you, not me. I would tell my mom, she forget you, not me. I was in her life a lot. And my mom would be like, I'm her daughter. I'm like, yeah, you were a bad daughter.
I think that's hard though too, like seeing your grandparents like vanish before you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's why I was a little more at peace with her passing. But it just hurt, period. Because like it literally was like a movie. Like I told you, like when we saw her, it was like a novela. Like now we laugh. Me and my cousins laugh about it because we're like, oh my God, like we didn't think we were gonna react like that. I'm like, me either.
But I feel like y'all laugh because it's like also painful, but it's like funny. Yeah.
And then like what happened? I was gonna say, I forgot. A novela.
Dude, I cannot bring you back the way you bring me back.
I can't. I forgot. I was gonna say something, but yeah, I love my grandma, so that was hard. Oh, well, that's what I was gonna say about the movie. Like a movie, like when they call. So my cousin called me because nobody could tell me. Like nobody had the guts to tell me. Not even my mother. My cousin Stephanie called me and she was like, Giselle. And I was like, what? And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm working. And she was like, okay, well, grandma died. And
she just told you like that?
Yes. And I was like, huh? And she was like, and then she started crying. She was like, I'm sorry, grandma died. And then I was like, and then I just like hung up on her and I still wasn't crying. I was like
you kind of took a while to
realize
what happened.
I was like, the first thing I did was I picked up the phone, called my boss because we were working and I was answering phones and I was like, and she's like, hello. And all I said was, my grandma died. And then I just started crying. And that's when she was like, log off, like just turn everything off, go do what you gotta do. Aww. And like, that's when I started crying. Like, I guess when I said like my grandma passed away, like I just got the phone call and like she was just like, log off, get off, like don't just close the computer. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, please take care. Like I love my manager, but she was like, take care of yourself, let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
She said like and I just, like I said, I just went outside and I just like laid there like in the grass because my grandma used to make me wake up at 6 a.m. and go weeding around her trailer, like pull all the weed. So that's what I went to go do, lay in the grass
and pull the weeds out.
Because it reminds me of her. And I just laid there and I just like, I couldn't cry. And I would cry and I would stop. And then, but I was just like, I'm happy you're with God, grandma. Like, I'm happy. But I was also like, oh, I'm so sad that I couldn't say goodbye to you. Like, that's what hurt me. And then the fact that we couldn't see her. But when they told us we were able to see her, like, I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see her.
For us, they transferred my grandma from here to Mexico. So she was buried in Mexico. But I think her casket had like a glass on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like, so you couldn't touch her. Like,
but you could see her.
You could see her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One of my tias has a picture of it, and to me that's like very morbid.
Oh yeah, that is very morbid.
Yeah, and I can't see it.
My mom was
Henry
like, why didn't you take a picture? Why would I take a picture of my passed away dead grandma?
Henry saw it and he was
weird.
like, you don't want to see it, babe. And he was like I saw it and I was just like, Like even Henry, like, because I didn't break down until after everything happened. Because for some reason, my birthday and deaths, like something always like when my cousin Marisa, when she passed away when she was 17 years old, I remember she passed. I always remember that she passed away on July 5th because on my birthday, which is August 5th, she was 1 month of fallecida, you know? And my grandma passed away in August, and for some reason she got buried on my birthday also on August 5th. Yeah. And so to me it's just like, why is it on my birthday, dude? Like something on my birthday. That's why like I always like I will never forget like when Marisa passed away, like the dates, the exact dates, because like it's always around my birthday, dude. Yeah, it's so weird.
I just remember, I think I'm going to say it was April 19th. I don't really remember. I was like out of it, but her birthday is November 4th. So I do think about her on her birthday on November 4th. Like I just like, I think about her, but I don't really, sometimes I cry. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like random.
I feel like it comes in waves, especially like randomly. When it's recent. Like some days like you're like, okay, like I didn't cry today. And then out of nowhere, like a big old wave comes and you like cannot stop crying. Like there's this one song, you know I love Intocable. There's this one song by Intocable that they wrote specifically for people that passed away during COVID. And it's called Jamás te soltaré. And it basically says like, when I find you again, like I will never let you go and I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it's like a beautiful song. And I always want to sing it. Like, I think it's like the most beautiful song in the world. And sometimes I'm like, I'm going to sing it and I'm not going to cry. Like, I'm not going to cry. Like, I want to sing it to my grandma, but like just genuine, you know, like genuine happiness, like meaning every single word of that song. And like, I listen to it and I'm just like, I can't, like, I have to change it. Like, I start tearing up. I'm like 2 seconds in. I was like, this was a fail. Like, let me change the song. But I feel like during the holidays, for me, it doesn't hit me like I feel like it comes random like that. But for my mom, like it does, like
for the holidays.
Yeah, like it does affect
her. She would go
her.
see her.
Yeah, like, and so like I feel like she really feels it around the holidays or like around her birthday or like anything like that comes up. Like the twins quinceañera is supposed to be next year, you know, God willing, and my mom, like the cuatas were crying and they were like, because my grandparents on my dad's side, they're both older than like my grandma. They're like in their mid 80s
and they're close to them,
and we're close to them, right? But one of the twins was like, I would always pray like for God to give them life to get to our 15, and they were like, we never thought about grandma because she was younger, you know, like never thought about praying like, oh, que no me falte abuelita, because she was younger.
So they would pray for you.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's going to be hard for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't want to cry anymore, you guys. Like, I feel like let's change the subject. If you've lost a loved one or, know the pain of it or have seen somebody else like experience it firsthand, our hearts are with you. Like, we know what you're going through, and it's like it's something that's really hard.
No, dude, but never mind, go.
No, I don't
want to say anything, like, because what I was gonna say is like a little more like
you can go.
No, because I was gonna say like it was hard for my grandma, but like thinking about like from the scratch, like if like I was thinking about like if I were to ever lose Rob, oh my God, I would lose it. I would lose it.
But I feel like
I would lose.
I mean, I don't know what it's like.
I would lose it. I would fucking lose it. And like, you know how she has to tell her daughter? There's no way I could tell Robbie.
I know.
There's no way.
It's hard. Like, one of my coworkers lost her husband to COVID also.
Shut up.
Yeah. And that was like, just watching her go through it was like one of the hardest things ever.
Yeah.
And they have 2 kids together, and it's just like
those are 2 like no, well, 3 top ones that I'm like, I like randomly it'll come to my mind and I'm like, God, if these people pass before me, you better help me, because I don't know how I'm going to do it, which is obviously my child, my husband, and my mother.
Yeah.
Those 3, like those were, I'm going to lose it.
I feel like anybody close to me, like my mom, my dad, Henry, my daughter, my sisters, like,
oh yeah, I'll definitely cry for all, like those are going to be hard, but I feel like those top 3, like I'll lose it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I'll be like that
my
girl
mom
where I
always
won't
says-
shower and I'll be
yeah.
in my bed and just be depressed.
Dude, say my mom always
For
says
the
like
rest
they
of my
say like you lose your husband y like quedas viuda or viudo. You lose your parents y quedas huérfana.
Yeah.
You lose your kid y like que quedas.
Mhm.
Like there's no word for it. And she's like, I don't know how people do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm like, and it's so true, dude. Like I look at my land and
those
I'm
are
like,
hard.
oh my God, like my hearts are with like the parents that have lost somebody.
Yes. Especially like the Uvalde. Like, dude, that broke my heart.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Oh, and then like how my son's in school now.
Oh yeah.
And he's in kindergarten, and he was telling us that they have to do a drill if a bad guy comes to school. I literally started crying, and Rob was like, "Don't cry in front of him." I'm like, like tearing up. I didn't cry hard, but I started tearing up because I
Dude, that
was
scares
like,
me.
I was like, my son is being taught if someone comes into his school with a gun that he has to like run, like
Yeah.
save. Like, that's heartbreaking.
I saw on TikTok, I think it was on TikTok, a mom that their kid came home with like a packet for them to fill out. And it was like the body of like a kid, but like no gender on the body. Like kind of like when they do the chalk drawing.
Okay, yeah.
And the mom had to put like moles or like birthmarks that are to identify like the kids, dude.
Oh my God. Well, they did send home that DNA thing.
Yeah, and the DNA thing.
And I was like,
I guess for parents to not have to do it like the day.
I don't know.
It's so sad.
It's very sad. It breaks my heart.
Yeah,
It's such a different world now.
I know. I mean, I feel like active shooters like in schools have always been a thing. Like it's always been a thing, but I don't feel like it's been to a level that it is now. Like where it's like it can happen literally any day at any place, any school. You can be in the richest school or the poorest school. Like it's gonna happen, dude. Like you can be in like what they consider like one of the best schools or whatever, and like it can still happen.
I know.
Like you never know. Like it could be a private school, it could be a public school.
One of my coworkers homeschools her daughter because of that.
Yeah, I feel like my anxiety, I would homeschool my Linda. The
Like,
only
you
reason
wouldn't
why
have
I
to be
don't,
home.
yeah, the only reason
That's
why
hard.
I like want her to still go to regular school is because I don't want her to miss out on like that experience of like bonding with like other children and stuff, because like regardless, dude, like our kids have to go out into the world, like as hard as it is. Like,
I mean, like,
you
it
know,
could
like,
happen. Remember it happened like at a movie theater one time?
Yeah. Okay, that movie theater thing, dude, I feel like that's like one of the things that started my anxiety. Like to this day, if I'm in a movie theater, if I like, we always sit in the very back aisle, and I'm always like, how am I gonna hide like if the shooter comes in? Like I always think about that.
No, but dead
but
serious.
how
Yes.
you were talking about like, man, God, like, que si me falta alguien, like give me the strength or whatever. Like I feel like those are like, they're called intrusive mom thoughts, and it's like because not everybody thinks about stuff like that, dude.
Yeah.
And like I'm one of the moms that thinks of like the worst thing in the world is about to happen. Like one weekend, I've been away from Mylan and Henry. We went to Fredericksburg to a winery, and Mylan was like, she was still a baby. I want to say she was maybe gonna turn 2, or she was gonna turn 2 because we were already living here. And I went to Fredericksburg, dude. I blew up Henry's phone like at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, because my anxiety wouldn't let me sleep, like thinking that he was gonna roll over and suffocate her on the bed. So I had to like call him nonstop to make sure that I was like, Mylan's okay? And he was like, yeah, she's okay. She's asleep. And I was like, you're not rolled on her? And he was like, no, like I'm not rolled on her.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, he was like, I'm asleep. And I was like, I'm sorry. I just had to make sure that my daughter was breathing. Like, and I was like, oh wait, dude. Like, that's why I'm like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do it, dude, when she goes to school. Like, if I can barely like trust Henry to watch her.
It's like a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah.
Because I love dropping him off and picking him up, just seeing his smiles. Like, oh. And then like him telling me about his friends and like
His
what
day.
he learned. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Like I love, and I love like the school activity stuff.
Also, off subject, but don't drink the truly black cherry.
It's not good.
Tastes like perfume.
I'm finished. I only have White Claws.
But anyways, you guys, as we were saying, like if you've lost a loved one or anything like that, like this episode is for you. Our hearts are with you, and we can all, like, sometimes we just need to cry it out. Like,
trying to fix my eyelash because I cry.
Mine's lifting over
off,
here.
y'all better tell me.
Let us know in the comments how bad our makeup looks. But before we end it off, I did want to do the questions thing.
Let's do 3.
Okay. What are your questions? Well, you're the one that had the questions.
No, not yet.
Why
I didn't
not?
end up because I wasn't sure. Like,
oh, okay.
How about you ask one, then I ask one, then you ask one, then I ask one?
Oh, man, what's a good question to ask?
That's what I was saying. Like, how far deep are we going into it?
We can go deep.
Deep?
Yeah, whatever question comes to your mind.
If you think of one before me, just go for it because I can't think
Are
of
you
anything.
sure?
Go.
Man, I don't know.
Exactly.
Let me Google questions. What's that game called?
Never have I ever.
I was watching Grey's Anatomy earlier.
Girl, you stay crying then.
I know. Okay, this is a cute one. Never have I ever played hooky from school or work.
Never have I ever played hooky. Yeah, of course I have.
From school or from work or from both?
Both.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I feel like now that me and Henry work at the same place, like I can't do it anymore. Like we used to be like, you call in and I'll call in, but obviously we can't do that no more because we work at the same place. But before, like, yeah, like when I worked at like banks or credit unions, I'd be like, I can't come, I'm sick. Just kidding.
Yeah, I would.
But for work, for school, I never played hooky, but I skipped school. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I used to skip school.
Did you ever get caught?
Yes, my mom came home early one day and she was mad.
Oh, dude, I got caught by a detective.
A detective?
Like those school detectives. My school had like detectives that would follow kids that they thought were leaving the campus.
Actually, I didn't ask you on the last episode when you asked me, what high school did you go to?
I went to LaPorte High School.
Oh.
Ew. No, but me and my then boyfriend, like, we left the building, and one of the little undercover cops, like, he was like a detective, he followed us, and we were gonna go to his parents' house, and his mom ended up being home. His mom didn't go to, she was in cosmetology school, and so she ended up being home, and we were like not expecting that, so we decided to drive around, and we parked at this place, and we were eating like Jack in the Box, and like the guy just comes and like knocks, dude. And this was like already like our periods, like our school ended like at 2:30, I think. Like we got out of school really early, and like he just came and knocked on the window, and he was like, can I have some ID? And like obviously he saw that we were supposed to be in school, and he like escorted us back to the school, and I had to walk back in and walk into the last period, which I think was 7th period, and it was like Miss Kicklighter. Dude, I even remember the teacher. It was biology, and I remember like my friend Liliana, you know, Nana, and she like sees me walk in, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here, dude?" And I was like, "Dude, we got caught," and like he gave us a ticket, and I obviously had to tell my mom. But when he told me like call your parents or whatever, like I texted my sister, and I was like, "I'm about to call you, pretend to be mom." Dude, I was so bad. I'm not ready for my Len to grow up. And your
sister did it.
And she did it for me.
That's a real
sister.
a real ass
sister. And she was like, you have to tell mom, dude. Like, your ticket's coming up. Like, your court date's coming up. Like, you have to tell her. And so, like, I told her. And, like, obviously my parents were pissed. But they got a lawyer or whatever. So I didn't have to go to court. But they still had to pay, like, $2
That's like a really, what is it called? Like a really motivated detective or whatever.
I know, asshole.
Because other cops would be like, yeah, whatever.
Just go back to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he like followed us, dude.
Like he was determined. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. A very determined
to like make detective. Us go back. Maybe he was racist since we were both Mexican.
Shut up. Everybody's racist.
Everybody's racist nowadays.
Yeah, I played hooky, obviously. There's times I just called in to work because I don't feel like going, and they don't roll over our vacation days. And
they don't. When I worked at Wells Fargo, they did.
I know. And from school, I skipped school. My mom knows though, and I got in trouble.
I mean, I skipped school times after that, and I didn't
Yeah.
get caught after that. I was just smarter about it.
Yeah, I skipped school.
Okay, this one's a good one. Never have I ever
You're laughing.
cheated on someone.
I've never cheated.
You've never cheated?
Never. Like actually full dating? No.
Okay.
I've talked to guys, to other guys and other guys all at the same time, but I was never committed to one. So no, I'm not cheating.
I did.
Well, you did. You said you were a sweetheart, right?
No, I never cheated on him.
Oh, I
He
thought you
cheated
said.
on me.
Oh, okay.
No, I cheated on this guy, but I I cheated, but I
It's dying.
broke up with him like that same day because I couldn't. Like I already knew I had fucked up. You know what I mean? You wanna finish it?
Okay, yeah. Maybe we'll cut that off.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we just want to say thank you for being here with us. We love y'all, and we can't wait to drop this. Drop
Yes.
down on the
I
comments
hope y'all
your
cry
favorite
with
part.
us.
Yes, drop down in the comments your favorite part. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us. We'll be posting more on our TikTok. Let us know if you want us to post anything, and we love you, Chicas.
We love you guys. Bye.